Do you get to pick the kind of people that you work with? Can I just decide that we only work with kind people? Also, I am recording from my office at the bookstore, which is super exciting. It's coming together really fast. I'm going to give an update on that. Along those lines, I want to talk about working from home and how that works and different tips for working from home or hybrid work environments. And speaking of being home or not home, I got so much travel coming up in May, so I'm going to just go through some of that with you because I have nothing else to talk about. So working with the kinds of people that you want to work with, working with kind people. This is something that I kind of realized about myself early on in the business. I had started working with a particular client and it was going fine. There were no real issues. And then one day things just went south. I got emails from the clients cursing at us, just being very disrespectful and not kind at all. And I decided at that moment, I work with kind people. And what that meant was really understanding like myself and who I am and knowing that I really want people to like me, and I'm number one harmony on Strength Finders. And so someone who's being abrasive with me or being a little bit rough with me, I just don't take kindly to that. That kind of thing just fills up my headspace for such a long time and makes it hard for me to focus on anything else. And so if I was going to do this in a way that made sense, in a way that actually gave me the freedom that I was looking for, then it meant that I had to tell myself that we weren't going to work with people who weren't kind people. And what that meant was having to define what is a kind person, what makes somebody kind versus unkind. And then once we decided what that was, how do we figure that out ahead of time? And if we were able to figure that out, how do we communicate that to somebody? How do we say like, hey, I think that we could help you. We would be a good fit, except I think you might be a jerk. And so we're not going to work with you. Obviously, I can't say that. So that's been an ever evolving process for me. It's also something that we don't only look for just in our clients, but in our vendors and in our team members. We just work with kind people. And so what does that mean? Like, I think there's a difference between nice and kind. Nice is someone I think who would just tell you what you want to hear, even if it's not the truth. And I don't want that. I want someone who respects us enough to tell us whenever we're doing something that's not meeting expectations, but I need it to be done in a way that's respectful, that sees both parties as like full humans and with feelings and thoughts and everything else. So kindness is just something that's really important to me. I tell people all the time, like if you're looking for some sort of coach that's going to be really, really hard on you and just give you that tough love, it's not me. I'm not going to be that kind of person. I'll be a cheerleader for you. I'll be able to give you encouragement and guidance and things like that, but I'm not going to give you tough love. It's just not how I do things. And back whenever I was working for somebody else, I had like employees or people that I managed. And I remember telling somebody, I don't think at any point in time, anyone is ever going to strike that perfect balance between being too nice or being too tough. And so if we're never going to be able to get that exact balance right, I would much rather fall on the side of being too nice or too lenient and have to work towards being tougher whenever I need to, rather than being a jerk all the time and having to work on being nice to people. So I know that I'm not going to hit that perfect balance, and I'm okay knowing that I'm going to probably be a little softer whenever I should be harder. But that's okay if it means that I'm not accidentally berating people in the meantime. So as an author, you probably aren't working with clients necessarily, and you can't necessarily say like, my readers have to be a certain way, or they have to be nice, because like you might not ever interact with your readers in that way. Now, if you have like a reader group or something like that, where you do interact with readers via email, then that is something that you can say. You can decide, I'm not going to interact with people who are just rude, who are mean. You don't have to do that. You get to decide the type of people that you interact with. But even outside of readers, that might be the vendors that you work with, the experts that you work with, the things that you outsource. If you build a team around yourself, you can choose the type of people you work with, and that all creates the culture that you're building within your business. And I didn't realize that in the beginning. To me, it was just like, well, this is just my preference. This is what I like. And so this is what it's going to be, because it's my business and I get to do things how I want to. But now that I have a small team, I can kind of see like, oh, this is the culture of the business. This is the culture that we are building here. And so we actually created a list of core values. And the number one core value on that list is we are kind and we work with kind people. And we defined under that core value what that actually means. It does not mean being pushovers. It means setting boundaries and communicating those boundaries very clearly. It means being honest with ourselves and with each other. And so for me, all that is just like, I guess, being intentional about the type of culture that you're building, even if it is just you. You're a solopreneur, no team, no interaction with readers. I think it's still important to decide whenever you do finally interact or bring on vendors or bring on a team, or you start interacting with your readers, what types of things are important to you. Moving on from that, with no real segue, I am at the office today between recording videos and answering emails and doing client stuff. I'm putting together bookshelves that came in yesterday, finishing up some things around the office. Super excited about that. Things are coming together really well. I am in my office at the bookstore. So it's all painted this really pretty navy blue. The problem is I have a window right here and a window right there. So if I move the camera at all, then I'm super backlit because we don't have any window dressings or window shades yet. So I have to be kind of stuck in the corner so that the lighting's okay. What I'd like to do is get some blackout shades in here and some curtains, and maybe be able to put the camera a little bit further away and get some good lighting in here. And I think with a little bit of work, I can make this a really nice, like kind of almost a recording studio to be able to come and get videos done here. I don't have the better mic that I like to use over here, so I'm using this little lav mic. I hope it's okay. It's very, very echoey in here because it's basically just floor, no rugs, no shades or anything like that. So hopefully the echo's not coming through too bad on the video. But with the bookstore, everything is done inside structurally. Couple of odds and ends like some light switch plates and things like that. Door kicks, like to protect the door if people are opening it with their foot or whatever. Those type of things need to be put in. Also still putting together a few more bookshelves. But other than that, the painting, the floors, all that kind of stuff is done. The warehouse that's right outside this window is basically finished. They're doing the electric in it next. They're putting a window to be able to get a little bit of natural light in there. And then an AC is going in there. It's all insulated so that all that inventory is going to be nice and safe over there. But the way that things are going, I'm thinking it's all going to be totally complete, hopefully by the end of next week. I'm sure we're going to have some odds and ends still that we have to take care of, but it's coming together really nicely. We have our grand opening scheduled for, I think I can say this. I guess I'll edit it out if Jessica tells me that I can't. We have the grand opening scheduled for May 30th. So we should be putting more stuff. I'm going to put actually in the description that I'm thinking about. I'm going to put the link to the bookstore's Instagram and Facebook accounts on here because you can actually see some sneak peeks of the bookstore itself. It's called the Book Dragon. If you search for the Book Dragon store on either Instagram or Facebook, it'll bring you right to it. Got a little green dragon logo on there. And then what else was I going to talk about? Oh, working from home. So I think I might actually save more of this for another video because I think this is a big topic, but something that I have just been trying to figure out so much over the last few years is a good balance for working from home. This may have actually solved a lot of it though. I noticed today I was able to kind of move back and forth between personal and business tasks whenever I was here. But the thing is, I don't want to have a physical office that I have to go to every single day. So I like the idea of this hybrid approach, being able to work from home whenever I need to be there with the kids, whenever I need to be with Jessica, or I just want to be there and not have to put on like anything other than sweatpants. I can just be at home. But if I need some more focused time and I need to feel like, okay, if I'm going to be here, I may as well work. There's nothing else for me to do other than work. Then my time here is a lot more focused than it is at home. So I think having the option of in-person, like in an office or at home, then I think maybe that's the trick. Obviously, not everybody has access to an office at a bookstore that they own, like apart from their house. But there could be coffee shops with little workrooms in it. Some towns have these co-working spaces where you can rent out office for a day. You could even check if you wanted to. If there was some sort of other like office in town that you knew the person, you could ask about just like, hey, do you have a spare office that I could rent from time to time on a daily basis? A lot of times those people, especially if it's just them, one, they'll be happy for the company. And two, they'll be happy to be able to get a little bit of extra income because rent prices are just killing everybody right now. So okay, I'll save the rest of that for another video because I think that we can talk a lot about working from home and tips for doing that. In fact, now that I'm saying it out loud, I think we might have already done this. So I'll go back and look to see if we've done one of those already. But speaking of home, I realized that in the month of May, I am going to be away from home for 10 nights out of the 31 nights in May. We got a family vacation coming up. Followed by that, I have this Profit First conference that I'm going to in Salt Lake City. I'm really excited about that. It's to be like a lot of high level stuff. and learning new ways to implement profit first in our clients' businesses. After that, I'm going to be in New Orleans for the AICPA Spring Council meeting. I'm on the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants Council. And I'm realizing as I say it that the acronym changed. I think it's now Association of International, so I don't know, it's a National Accounting Association. I'm part of that. And so I get to go to that twice a year. That's in New Orleans this year. And then where else am I going? Oh, I'm going to New Jersey at the end of the month for a speaking workshop. I'm super excited about that. I got hooked up with, I think it's Heroic Public Speaking, and they do these 2-day workshops just going through different tips on how to speak better, how to have better camera presence, how to script videos and stuff like that. So super excited about that. The only thing is we jumped straight from tax season to now just travel season, at least for me. So it's going to be a busy month. I'm kind of actually looking forward to June where things finally slow down a little bit, but then we're going to have a bookstore to operate. So maybe it's just not going to slow down at all. That's okay. This is the life that we signed up for, and I'm happy to have it. That is this week's update. I hope that everyone's doing well. Let me know what's going on, anything new with you in the comments, and I will see you next time.